Okay, so I got another story of synchronicity for you guys. This one involves Michael Jackson. That's right. So about like 5 or 6 years ago, I was wanting to do something new with my music. At that time, I was doing kind of like a soul rock, bluesy rock vibe. And so I was wanting to do something different. So I was thinking to myself, should I go back to like my pop roots and more dance or electronic stuff? And so around that time, my friend and I were always seeing these Michael Jackson signs around. Like we walk in a store and all of a sudden a Michael Jackson song kept playing, like enough to where it was so noticeable, Michael Jackson signs and, banners and everywhere. So it was just kind of like to us, like kind of like, all right, this is pretty clear that there's some sort of like synchronicity with Michael Jackson. Didn't know what it was. And so about like a couple weeks after that, we decided to go to Glendale. At the time I lived in Hollywood Hills. So decided to go have some lunch in Glendale where they had a great kebab shop and so forth. So after we ate lunch, had kebabs, we're driving out of there. And I started seeing this like castle looking thing as we were driving out of the parking lot. I'm like, oh, what's that over there? Let's go check it out so we could take some pictures. So we drove around. We noticed it was actually Forest Lawn Cemetery. Never been there before. So we're like kind of driving up and I'm like, I felt a push, like go around toward the back, like drive around to the back area. And so we drove around toward the back area and there was like no one there. We kind of parked like, whoa, it looks like kind of like cathedral castle. It's pretty fucking cool. So we started taking pictures. And of course it was like just only one person sitting in their car. And I'm thinking to myself, of course, anytime you want to do something private, so it's been one person there, of course. Every time I go in public, the public's got to be there, right? Type of thing. So I was kind of like, whatever. So I'm trying to like not let that bother me and taking pictures. So we started walking around this like building, looks like a castle, cathedral type of thing. And we turn around, there's this door there and we see this like kind of shrine there. And it's like, I'm looking, it's like all this Michael Jackson, like shrine type of thing with his pictures. People left gifts there, all these, things and so forth. I'm like, dude, like what the hell? Look at this. And my buddy was like, that's weird. Because we just in a different city, kind of in Glendale, and just randomly went for lunch and just randomly decided to kind of like go drive to this, this Forest Lawn area. So as we're looking at this shrine, kind of like in amazement that synchronicity was there, then that guy with his car started walking up toward us and he had a key. So he comes up and he's going at the door and I said, is this a Michael Jackson shrine here? And he goes, yeah, his tomb is inside. And we're like, I'm like, wow. I said, do they do like tours and stuff? He's like, no one from the public is allowed in. So I'm like, oh. And then so he starts opening the door with his key and he goes, come on. I'm like, what? He's like, just follow me. Just stay close to me. So we're both walking in and we go in the door and it's like all these tombs and stuff and different walls of like tombs, I guess you'd call them that. And we're walking through and he goes, points ahead and it was like a shrine, a tomb. He goes, that's Michael Jackson's tomb right there. I'm like, holy shit. And so we're then walking around the bend and he's taking us to like, because I think one of his grandfathers was a really well-known Spanish composer, he said, or something of that nature. And so he was showing the wall of his family that was in there too. I'm like, so how do we get out of here? And he goes, just, find your way out and so forth. So I'm like amazed like this happened. And I felt like kind of uncomfortable because this guy let us in. I don't know this guy. And I feel like I shouldn't be there, but it was cool that I was. So I'm trying to walk out, trying to take a selfie like discreetly of the tomb behind me. And we leave there and I go to my friend, I'm like, dude, like what the fuck just happened? How the hell did that just happen? Like we literally got to see Michael Jackson's tomb, literally, and no public has ever been in there. How odd is that? And that guy there. And so right when we get in the car, then my cell phone goes off and it goes from Instagram, this Michael Jackson fan page started following me all of a sudden and then liking all my pages, all my posts. So I'm like, dude, look, this Michael Jackson fan page just started liking all my posts all of a sudden right now. He's like, dude, what the hell? So I think that was like really much, because of a medium, perhaps that the spirit of Michael Jackson was connected with me to go back to my pop roots and to go back to my dancier stuff. And so I started kind of doing that after that fact. And noticing with that synchronicity that was around, there was kind of like a nudge from spirit to say, yeah, go in your direction, go in that pop vibe. So when you're feeling these pushes, these impulses, follow them, like really kind of not to where it puts you in danger or makes things uncomfortable. Like you just be curious about what you're feeling led to do and where you're led to go. You'll start start seeing this wonderful streamline of events unfold and like really unique situations. And if you watch my previous video of a story of synchronicity, and I talked about, you know, getting like Bronco in that car and so forth, like it was so out of nature for me to do this, but it worked out perfectly. It's always fun to follow these signs, follow these steps, and you never know what can come from them and what could actually happen for you in the process too. So yeah, and then after that, I was really pushed into my pop roots again, going back into pop music. And so my last song, Come Alive, people say, just randomly say, sounds like a Michael Jackson song, or sounds like there's Michael Jackson's hints in there. Now, I take pride in having my own sound. I don't want to emulate anybody else's sound. I'm not a huge fan of anybody. I have a huge array of artists I appreciate, so maybe there was a little bit of a inspiration coming through there. So if you're curious, check out my song Come Alive. It's here on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I'll put a link in the description so you can follow it and you can see what you think. But follow your impulses. Even if it doesn't make sense and doesn't put you in danger, see where it leads you. And then you'll start seeing the wonderful world of synchronicity and the signs of spirit. And so a lot of times people always wonder, like, you know, am I missing any signs? It's like, yeah, they're all around you every day. Follow them. And once I finished recording the video, it ended up being 5 minutes and 55 seconds long.